What it do? It's your girl, Linda, a.k.a. Frelo, the host of For Women with Purpose podcast. I'd like to give a shout out to our cameraman. Hello. Um, Today's episode is going to be basically me by myself giving you guys a little introduction about Frelo, Linda, and me being, I feel, called. And it started from a young girl. When I was a little girl, walking through the hallway of our home, out of the blue, sometimes a drop of water would fall on me. We did not have a leaking roof. It did not rain outside. Where the water came from, I say God. So from a young child, God was anointing me for a purpose. And when that used to happen, I used to ask my mom. I used to be like, Mom, oh, so a water just fell on me, or drop of water, or something like fell on me. And, she would say, it could be God blessing me, and that was it. That's all I heard. She did not go into details on the water falling on me. Also, sometimes in the middle of the night, clear daytime, I would hear a knock on either the door or a window. And for an example, it's been times where I used to hear the knock on the door and my parents would be in the living room and I go to the door thinking someone is at the door, and I get there, no one is there. And they'll be like, well, what you doing? And I'll be like, well, somebody just was knocking at the door. And it was like, nobody knocked. Or times when I was laying in my bed and at night and I would hear a knock at the window. And I would look scared, but I would look, I would peek, and there's no one at the window. Once again, today I understand that I forgot to tell you guys my topic. My topic is, if I knew then what I know now. And I say that to say, now looking back at those episodes, I think of Samuel when God was beckoning him, calling his name, and he would go and see what, I don't remember the guy name he would go talk to and ask if he called him, and he was like, no, I didn't call you, go back, lay down. And it kept on happening. And they'll tell one time, he told him, well, if you hear it again, just say out loud, here I am, Lord, your servant is listening. What if someone explained that to me back when I was a little girl? If I knew then what I know now. And it's strange that these things was happening to me, even as an adult. Till today, the drop of water still happens. Just recently, when we was in New York, we was in the Statue of Liberty coming down the stairway. It was hot in there, but no one was over me. It wasn't cold. There was no water or humidity or mist or dew, whatever you want to call it, on the railings. And this big old drop of water fell on me. And I told it to my husband, and I told it to my other friends. And I wish I did not know, but actually that was a wet spot on my shirt. So I did not see that wet spot, but they seen that wet spot. So I feel my daddy is still today, still blessing me at times. And I just recently received that blessing with that drop of water. And I just think it's amazing. It's like If someone would have told me when I was younger what God was doing to me, I'm about to get emotional, what God was doing with me, like, would have surrendered myself to Him? I don't know, because no one ever told me. No one sat me down and explained to me those things that I was going through. I'm going to tell you guys a testimony that happened to me. This was in, I think, 1998. My little nephew was diagnosed with leukemia, and he was in a Tulane hospital. And my mom was actually at the charity hospital, coming through a aneurysm that she had, that she was airlifted to New Orleans because it was so severe. They didn't think she was going to make it. But the whole time of her being in the helicopter, she was praying to God with her mouth turned. The medics in the helicopter couldn't understand how she was still talking and her mouth was turned. But by the time she got to Charity Hospital, her mouth was back straight. So that was a miracle right there in itself. But I went out there one weekend with a friend of mine, and we decided to go out one night. And we went on Bourbon Street. My friend was driving, and we was in my friend's vehicle. So I didn't remember where we were parked. So we got down, we went into the club, we enjoyed ourselves, we drank alcohol. My friend left me there. He left with someone, he left me there thinking I would have been able to find my way back to the vehicle. But in that drunken mind state that I was in at that time, I didn't remember where we were parked. So I found myself at the end of a road, dark. This story, it hits hard. It hits me really, really hard. So I was at the end of a road. No, I was the only person there. I didn't see anyone. A car approached me, not knowing no one where I was. And like I said, I wasn't drunk, but I was intoxicated. They asked me if I needed a ride. It was 4 guys. So not knowing where I was, I got in the car. The only thing I remember once I got in the car is they asked me where I was going. And I knew enough to tell them the Radisson Hotel on Canal Street. The next thing I remembered, getting out of the car, and the guys sitting in the car with their hands on their lap. And that was it. My body was not disturbed. My bottom, my private part was not, I didn't feel like I was forced or I was played with or someone penetrated in me. I went in the hotel. Now, I really was thinking about what had just happened, but I didn't tell anyone. And I kept that, I didn't say a secret, but I kept that to myself for many, many years. I think it was in 2021 or 2022. I was supposed to look it up, I forgot. Tasha Cobb came out with a song titled Never Gave Up. The day I heard that song, I dropped to my knees because my daddy told me, he reminded me that scene, that day, that night, me being in that vehicle. It was him that was with me in that car. So I look back at the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, because that's what he was for me that night in that car. So all I could do was just tell him, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your blood. Thank you for your protection. So when I talk about God, Jesus, I'm so passionate about him because he is my everything. He's my Father. God is amazing. He's amazing. And every once in a while, now, this story hits home. And all I can do is just say, wow, so many women get in vehicles and their loved ones never see them again. And here I am today with kids, married, and they got women that's out there that their family members still haven't found them. But I was brought to my destination. They didn't come looking for me because he brought me where I needed to be. My protector. And I have another little short testimony. I think this was before, just before the New Orleans incident. This was with my kid's father. I don't know what took place, what happened, but we got into it and he took a pillow and he put it over my head. I'll say he was trying to smother me because it took all my might, everything I had in me, the last strength, the last breath that I had in me, to not allow that pillow to be placed over my face because I knew what he was trying to do. But my dad, once again, gave me enough of strength before I would have passed out to get away from him. And I ran to the street. He came after me. So I crossed over to the other side of the street to get away from him. But I say that to let you know that I couldn't do that in my own strength. How can I overpower an angry man that was determined to put a pillow over my head? Nothing but God. Nothing but God. I feel he has always shown himself to me in ways that I cannot even explain. And all the times he did this for me, I still turned my back on him. But through his mercy, he showed me his love, his patience for me. Like the song, Tasha Cobb never gave up. He waited for me. That's why I'm so thankful and grateful and so passionate about God. Another one. Told you I have a lot. Oh my God. One day I was leaving from work. This had to have been 2020. Probably 2020. I have two when I was leaving for work. I was leaving for work one in 2020, and something was like, put on, I can't even think of her name at the moment. My God. I don't remember the lady name. Hold up, I'm gonna find it. So I'm gonna tell y'all this story. I was worshiping, and at this time I was working on a university at our NIMSA location. And I would take the thruway from Willow on my way home. So I then took the thruway in my worship time. I got to the airport, and when I got to the stop sign, I started talking with him, because I talk with God. And while I was talking with him, I told him to show himself to me. And when I tell you, when I pulled off and I looked to my right, it was not raining. The sun was shining. When I looked to my left, that was a rainbow. From the time I looked at that rainbow and looked back at my windshield and looked back at that rainbow, it was gone. It was gone. Once again, he was showing me, daughter, I hear you. I see you. I love you. I don't remember the name of the song. I don't remember the artist of the song. She's a female. And the name of the song is Falling. It's at the tip of my tongue, but I just can't get it. Oh, God. Y'all bear with me. I can't find it. But the song was talking about, in the song, about falling. And And it was a R&B song. But for some reason, I put that song on that day. All the times I listen to worship music, I put that song on that day. I want to see if I can find it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Artist. Layla James. Thank you, love. Layla James. That was the artist. I always did like her music. And I'm gonna play a little portion for y'all guys. That song came on. Layla James. Fall for You.
Here we are together, and everything between us is good. I'm riding this cloud, baby, ready to fly, but
And all this song, when I started listening to these lyrics, the first person I thought about was God. Because I was falling in love with him. And when I heard these lyrics, he told me, I'll be your everything. Lean on me. Don't depend on no one but me. And from that day forward, there's no one I depend on but him. He said, yes, yes, fall. I'll catch you every time. I'll catch you every time. Oh, God. He said every day, all day. He said, I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. Oh, God. And that's what I gave him. I gave him my all. I turned and I forsook everything. I forsook everyone for him. Until today. He's still my everything. So sometimes he'll take a secular song and let you get something from it. Because what I got from this song right here is nothing but God, my daddy. Because this is what he wants to be in every one of our lives. Our everything. He wants to be the one that we lean on, depend on, through the good, through the bad, through the troubles. So yeah, that's what that song meant to me that day. Oh, God. He's amazing. And what I did, I had to check myself. I had to check who I was and who I wanted to be, how I wanted to please him. So I had to posture myself. I had to posture my heart to receive everything that he had for me. I had to lay down a lot. And today I'm a better person because I'm not who I was back then because of him. I might not have riches and I might not have fame, but I have peace. And that's all I need. Because with the peace, I have everything. I have the riches. I have the fame. Because when I walk in places, the peace that rests on me rests on the people. The peace that is in my home, when people come in my home, it rests on them. I've spoke on the subject about my marriage. And when we give our will to God for his will, that's a blessing. For every test, there's a lesson. Or for every lesson, there's a blessing. I don't know if I'm saying it right. For every, for every, for every lesson, there's a lesson. And for every lesson, yeah, for every test, there's a lesson. And for every lesson, there's a blessing. When I say there's a blessing, there's a blessing. But we have to put aside our own will for his will. That's with having anger and bitterness for someone, to laying down that bitterness and anger for that person, for God's will, to be loving and kind. When I started going to the church that I was going to, it was me and my family members. We all was going together, and they left, but I stayed. But I wanted to leave, but I stayed. And the reason why I say I stayed, because God told me to go back. I think this happened like 4 or 3 times. I think it was 4 times. Every time I tried leaving, he always made me go back. But through my obedience of going back, laying down my will, not want to go back, for his will, for me to go back. Not knowing that one day I was going to meet my husband at that church. But through my obedience, I got to keep saying that, through my obedience, I met him. And it was not instantly. I thought he was a married man. Because we were working side by side and not even knowing what God was doing all the time. We both was doing the same thing within the ministry. Not even knowing God had all that planned the whole time. So yeah, through obedience, laying down our will for his will, we get blessings. And I receive a blessing. So in concluding everything that I have told you guys on this episode, we have to posture ourselves to receive. We have to, I gotta say it, lay down our will for his will. And for anyone out there that have had the same episodes like I've had as a child, actually my 2 daughters also have had drops of water falling on him. My youngest is getting some of that now. My oldest used to get those. And I think one of my brothers said that he used to get that as well. But no one talked about it. I did. When I felt it, I told it. I talked to everybody about it. I used to talk to my boss. And we would be at work in our office. And I could be talking and bam, the water fall on me. And I'd be like, look, it just fell on me, just fell on me. So I've had people witness where just drops of water has just fallen on me out of the blue. So yeah, my encouragement is to seek God, ask God what it is that He is trying to tell you. Going to prayer, going into fasting. If it takes you going into fasting, do that. Fasting works. I fast for almost a whole year because I wanted to get rid of the baggage, the generational curses that was on my family that kept me bound until I knew who God was, truly was. I knew He was a God. I knew He was a healing God. I knew He was a forgiving God. I knew He was a God that would stop the weather and this and that. I knew that God, but I did not have that personal relationship with Him. So if you are going through things like that, go to God and just ask Him to give you guidance on what it is that He is looking from you. Because no one told me that. No one told me to go to God, go pray and ask God what it is that He's looking for. What I did when I realized, and I knew today, because I didn't know then what I know now, when my youngest daughter started telling me what was happening to her, you know what I would tell her? Next time it happens, you ask God, you tell God, Father, I see you, and that would be it. Whatever you want for me. It has been time where she has come in my bedroom and be like, Mom, you called me? And I'll be like, no, I didn't call you. And it happened several times until a point when I was like, wait, hold up. It's happening to her what was happening to me. So I would tell her like they told Samuel. Say, here I am, Lord, here I am, Lord. Your servant is listening. Did she do it? I don't know. But I know I told it to her, so she can't say I didn't tell her. When you know better, you do better. And in conclusion, just get to know God for yourself so you can have that one-on-one personal relationship with you and God. There's going to be times when they're going to tell you, oh, you don't love me, or you don't want to be with me, this and that. But hey, if that's what it takes for you to get that personal one-on-one relationship with God, do that. Because I have been told that many of times. But I was so hungry for God. At that time, I didn't care who I was offending. Who I was offending. And it blessed me. Because no one can tell me who He is, because I know Him for myself. Not the church, not the pastor, not my husband, not my friends, not my sister. I know. I have that personal relationship with Him. So get that one-on-one with Him, and you love on Him and allow Him to love back on you. This is Frelo, For Women with Purpose podcast, signing out. Peace.